The Sunrise Interview is sponsored by Elk Valley Casino, Crescent City.
Welcome back. Now, October is Bullying Awareness Month, and did you know that 1 in 5 students report being bullied, and over 70% of adults have experienced at least one form of abuse or trauma? Joining us this morning is an expert on bullying, life coach and author of Living the Free Life, Brooke DeBoer. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Now, to start off, what are some of the surefire signs that someone is being bullied or going through some sort of abuse in their life?
Originally, when I thought about this question, I was unsure if there is a surefire sign, but actually I do talk about a lot of the signs in the book. And specifically withdrawal from social activities. If you see somebody who's not showing up anymore with friends, if their demeanor changes, if they're showing agitation, if they are having mood swings, if there's the physical signs also could be like unexplained injuries. And I also just want to say anxiety, fear, any change.
Yeah.
That you notice. And I think if you notice those things, make sure that you alert an adult, somebody safe, or go talk to that person and be with them and see if you can figure out what's going on.
Any sort of deviation from our normal, natural kind of happy selves, you would say.
Exactly. And I think for me, when I was younger, we'll get into this probably, I had a lot of bullying. My mom reminded me that I used to go home and just sleep all the time. So her signal for me was I was abnormally down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And can you explain some of the other things that you talk about in your new book, Living the Free Life?
Yes, well, the book starts with my story, and I had bullying all the way through my school-age years, all the way up through into my 20s. And ended up in an abusive relationship. And I think my self-esteem and self-worth was worn down. So I ended up in some other toxic relationships, which ultimately ended with me being a single mom. And I finally decided that I needed to make a break. This was my first step toward healing because I was going to have a daughter and I was looking at what kind of mom I wanted to be. So we talk about that in the book. I also talk about each chapter has reflection questions at the end of it so that people can really process through what's going on for them, because my story is one thing, but bullying and abuse looks different for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, and then we go into sort of you looking at your own heart, looking at your value system, what's okay with you, what's not okay, so you can begin to set healthy boundaries, look at the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. So we look at transforming self-doubt into self-love, and also ways that you can reach out to get support and help and heal.
I want to say, I think it's amazing that you chose to sort of break that generational trauma for your daughter. Can you talk about how bullying has sort of changed in recent years? And it's not always what is portrayed in movies and TV.
Exactly. Cyberbullying is huge now. I don't have the statistics right off the top of my head. I know that I've witnessed it. My kids have experienced it. With the rise of social media and how much time kids and people are spending online. And it can be adults and children and young people alike. I think everybody has in some way been touched by some kind of nasty comment online or a picture being posted that they weren't okay with. And the problem with cyberbullying is it's 24/7. Once a picture is posted, it's there, and it can be hard to escape the effects of that.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, really detrimental. And as you said, stuff on the internet doesn't go away. So it's a whole different playing field.
Exactly.
Is there anything else that you would like to mention this morning before we wrap up?
Well, I think if I could just say, from a preventative standpoint, if you are online, there are some ways that you can protect yourself. And I think one of those is knowing what privacy settings you can use on the social platforms, knowing that you can report a post as abuse or bullying, knowing that you have a safe group of family and friends to support you. And if you don't have that, knowing that there are organizations who can confidentially support you if you are having negative consequences of online bullying or bullying anywhere for that matter. And those are listed in the book too.
Awesome. Yeah, help is definitely available. People don't have to go through this type of thing alone, and that's great.
Yes, and if I can add one more thing, I just want to make sure that people know that healing is a step-by-step process, and the book is a call to action for you to transform your self-doubt into self-love and to become empowered. And I believe everybody has the possibility to do that with the right type of support. And I hope this book can serve as that for people.
Awesome. Well, Brooke, thank you so much for coming on here this morning. It was such a pleasure getting to know more about your story and what you talk about in your book.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Now, as Brooke said, her new book, Living the Free Life, offers compassion and insight to those seeking to overcome the scars of bullying and toxic relationships. It's available right now in hardback, paperback, and for Kindle on Amazon.com. And October is Bullying Awareness Month. For resources on how to recognize and deal with instances of bullying, visit stopbullying.gov. Once again, Brooks, thank you so much for coming on here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll be right back.